Hello and welcome to Caesar Snack Sandwich. Today I have a quick video for you on Truemarkets. Now Truemarkets is a prediction market, so you can come here and you can bet on the outcome of real world events, okay? It's not currently 100% live, but there is a beta app here that you can kind of come and play around with, so I would suggest you to check that out. Of course, I've read through all the docs as normal, and I would suggest you to do so. The docs are pretty thorough, they're pretty good. I would suggest you, as always, to read through all of them. I'll finish before I hop over to the flowchart with the statement that I am a tester here. I'm going to be participating in this in the final say of certain things, as well as a lot of other OG DeFi people in the crypto space, and so forth. So different kinds of founders, different kinds of influencers, KOLs, and so forth in the space. They are all here going to be attesting. There are even more than what you can see in this list right now. Okay, so without any further ado, let's swing over to the flowchart. Rise is the next generation, high throughput based rollup. Rise Chain is ushering in the gigagas era with a parallel execution engine and a continuous pipeline. Find out more at ricelabs.xyz. Okay, so here we are on the flowchart. We have dollar bill here and we have the Truemarkets here in the middle, okay? Now, dollar bill has this idea of this question about the real world. Will Canada become the 51st state of the United States in 2025? He has this question. He knows that it's popular. People are considering this, thinking about this, and he thinks people want to bet on it. So he wants to try to put that market into the permissionless marketplace and allow people to place their bets on this question, whether they think the outcome will be yes or no. Now, of course, he has financial incentives to do so. He wants to do this because he wants to try to make some money in the case of this example. Okay, so moving on, so first thing he does is he reaches out to the Truemarket and says, hey, I want this question. And there's this Oracle Council, which is consistent of individuals from the team, as well as AI agents. Because of some of the roles that this thing does in the system, it's easier to just use an AI agent, okay? But there are humans inside there as well. So he reaches out to them. He says, hey, I want this question on the market, and I'm willing to provide liquidity to it and so forth, so people can trade this, okay? So the council will, go work with him to build the question so it fits into the perimeters and doesn't create any possibilities or problems, and so forth. So some of the things that they will do to create the market is, of course, the question has to be yes or no. It cannot be some sort of answer like 263,000. It has to be a yes or a no answer. The question, the source of where that the answer to that question can be obtained, and then any other important information. All of this data is stored on chain inside the contracts, and so instead of storing it in some server, in some black box so that it can be changed, it's immutable on chain, okay? Now there are some other things too, and if you go through the docs, you can kind of really nitpicky and look a little bit deeper, but that's the general gist of things, okay? So yes or no questions, and then the question, the source, and then any extra information immutable, put on chain inside the smart contracts, okay? So they create the market, okay? So then the market is created, and then dollar bill is going to go and mint some yes or no questions. So he's going to deposit 100 USDC in this case, okay? And he's going to mint 100 yes tokens and 100 no tokens. Now this is a one-way thing. He can't get out of this position right away. So obviously he has to consider his question and how long he wants to provide liquidity to this question, or how long he wants this market to be open for. Obviously he doesn't want to do like in the next 100 years will blah 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 happens, because then he's kind of stuck in there for that next 100 years, okay? So he gets 100 yes tokens and 100 no tokens into his wallet. The USDC goes into the smart contracts, right? Then he can, as he pleases, he can take some of his yes tokens or take some of his no tokens, take all of them if he pleases, take only some of one, some share of the others, and he can provide them as liquidity on Uniswap through the True market. So the market, Truemarkets, is going to use Uniswap contracts for this liquidity. He doesn't have to go to Uniswap. He just needs to. I'm just telling you that the markets will be put into the Uniswap contracts, okay? Now, this might change in the future, but as the current model is right now, they're going to use Uniswap. So because he's providing liquidity into Uniswap, right, he's going to get trading fees, but then he'll also be incentivized with True tokens for, you know, the active tick. So what that means is he doesn't want to put his tokens in full range all the time. The more concentrated he puts his tokens, then the more True tokens he will be rewarded. So he's going to get trading fees as well as True tokens in the current model, okay? So let's say he provides all of the tokens in there because he doesn't want to actually make a bet on this, the outcome of this. He just wants to farm trading fees and True tokens. But he could just put his no tokens for sale, and then someone else could come and mint tokens and just put their yes tokens for sale, or so forth, okay? So there's the possibility of minting these tokens and then adding liquidity to them. Now that there's liquidity, right, and it's tradable because let's say he put all of them in there, right? His brother, Boosted Bill, can come and easily just trade in and out of the market. He can use some USDC to buy some no, and then other people will buy some yes, buy some no's, and trade in and out of this market as he pleases. Of course, he's going to pay trading fees to do so, right? But it's very simple then, right? Moving on, after this question has been resolved, like let's say 2025 has ended and Canada is still Canada, right? So then Data Dan here can resolve the answer to this question. So he can come and be like, hey, I know the answer to this question because the answer is public now. Now he can put the answer, let's say he says no, it won't happen. And then when he resolves this, there is a 6-hour challenge window. So within the 6 hours, anyone can challenge this. So anyone can resolve this and anyone can challenge the resolution. Now, if it goes unchallenged and he has chosen X, then all of the X tokens become worth $1 and all of the O tokens become worth $0. And then that's where that $100 comes because there's $100 in, so 100 of both of these tokens in circulation and each one becomes worth $1, okay? Now, let's say Boosted Bill, he doesn't agree with this. He thinks, no, Canada is now part of America. So he can challenge the resolution within this 6-hour challenge window by bonding 250 USDC. So he puts up 250 USDC and says, hey, no. Data Dan here, he's wrong. He's not right, right? So then the Oracle Council will step in, be called in to resolve the answer of this challenge, okay? So it will look at the data, look at the source, and decide whether or not they think the answer is yes or no. So then they can also decide whether or not to slash the person who was wrong, and then also to reward the person who was right, like how much they should reward and so forth. Okay. Now, like I said, this Oracle Council will consist of AI agents as well as humans. So all of this stuff will start to get automated sooner than later, right? It'll become quite fast, and these resolutions will probably there will be an algorithm set up to reward and to slash and stuff like that. But the humans can also be like, hey, no, we want people to resolve and we want people to challenge. So we better not just go crazy on slashing everybody, right? So they don't have to slash and they don't have to reward as far as I can tell, okay? Now let's say Boosted Bill is still unhappy. He's like, hey, no, the Oracle Council is wrong, and Canada is part of the USA. So then he can challenge the Oracle Council by bonding 5,000 USDC. So as you can see, the cost to challenge is increasing, right? Because they don't want to be like everyone just challenge, and not have to put up more and more money. So now he's bonding 5,000 USDC. Now, the Oracle Council has been declared, unfit for resolving this challenge, so they cannot be the people who resolve the next challenge, right? So in comes the true stakers, the people who hold the true token and have staked it. Okay, now I'm not sure if this is going to be an LP stake or just a single-sided stake, and there's no mention of APR for stakers or any kind of fee revenue, so that's something for the future. But so these people who hold these staked true tokens, now they get to resolve. Now, they also are the people who are going to decide whether or not any of the losers get slashed or any of what rewards go to whoever. Now, let's say they look at this and they're like, no, Canada is still Canada, Boosted Bill. Don't be crazy, right? So Boosted Bill is still unfit. He's still unhappy, so he wants to challenge the truth stakers. In order to challenge the truth stakers, he needs 250,000 true tokens, okay? Now, it doesn't say that he has to bond them. It just means he has to hold them. So now he has to be a truth whale to challenge the truth stakers, okay? So maybe he buys them, maybe what have you, and so forth, and he can challenge the truth stakers resolution. Okay, now all of these challenges in my example come from Boosted Bill. They don't have to be coming from Boosted Bill. They can come from anyone. Like the first one could be Boosted Bill, the second one could be someone else, and the third one could be someone else as well. Okay, now let's say Grandma and all of these truth stakers that have voted and declared the resolution, let's say they're challenged, right? So who gets called into to resolve the challenge of the truth stakers, and that is the attesters. These people with these OG reputations in the crypto space, and in the future in other spaces as well, can be added to this, as so long as they have knowledge or access to crypto wallets and stuff like that. So the crypto attesters, they also have to declare a wallet and link it to themselves inside this system. So proof of humanity and so forth. So again, they will resolve this, and they are the final say. Boosted Bill cannot challenge the attesters at this point, but if it's gotten to this step, then it's probably the truth is the truth, right? Now, these people are selected randomly. So they're reputable OGs in the space. They are selected randomly. So the people who will attest this final attestation are randomly selected from the pool of attesters. These attesters don't have to show up. Like, they don't have to be attesters. They can have the attestation role and the NFT, there's a soulbound NFT sent to them. They can have this and not even know about it. They have to opt in. So every epoch, they will opt in and say, yes, I'm willing to do jury duty. I'm willing to attest anything that gets, challenged up to this level. And then in order to maintain a target for a target amount of attesters that are opted in for jury duty, they are incentivized with a lottery. There's a certain amount of rewards put up, and those rewards are given to one of the people who have opted in each epoch to jury duty. So maybe I get some this time, or maybe one out of every 20 or 30 or 50 or 100 or 10, I don't know. Every time I opt in, and maybe sometimes I get some rewards and so forth. Now, all of these parameters are governed by snapshots and so forth, but there's no on-chain governance in the sense. So there will be some adjustments done by the team based on the governance of these true stakers. So this is how I understand it. As always, go and read the docs, check it out, dig a little bit deeper, find out what's going on here if this is something that's interesting to you. I hope this has been useful. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.